All right. Are we going to start now?
I need Mary now.
Can we start? Hello?
I need Mary to be louder.
Louder? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, louder. Okay. Can we start? Can you all hear me?
Can.
Can, huh? Okay. So when you say start, then I'll start. Okay. Can we start? A warm welcome and a very good afternoon to our honorable panelists and audience for joining us on this forum on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on nurse frontliners. I'm Mariana Matlamani, is the moderator for this forum. Here is a brief introduction of myself. Currently, I'm employed as an adjunct lecturer with NASA University of Sarjana System. Also an adjunct lecturer at Monash University, University. I've worked for the past 37 years with the Ministry of Health and have several important posts at the hospital and also at the training institution of the Ministry of Health. I took my compulsory retirement early 2020 and joined the two universities to chair at the other. I'm also a licensed practicing nurse and midwife at the neighborhood at FSAJ. I take this privilege in thanking Ministry of Health, Training Division, Institute Najihan, KKM, Masa University, and Monash University. So this forum is actually held in conjunction with International Nurses Day by the School of Nursing and Midwifery under the Faculty of Medicine and Biosciences of Masa University. We take great pleasure in thanking them. The International Nurses Day theme for 2020 is to lead, nursing the world to health. Hence, our forum would be on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on nurse frontliners. And we'd like to wish Happy Nurses Day to all. Other than that, International Day of Midwife was celebrated globally on the 5th May with the theme Midwives with Women. Celebrate, demonstrate, life, unite, our time is now. I'm very honored to be here as I'm also a licensed practicing nurse and midwife. Happy nurses and happy midwives Day. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce all our three honorable and distinguished panelists. The first panelist is Prof. Dr. Wali Mutazami. He's the president of the Behavioral and Mental Wellness Coaching Incorporation, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. He's also the consultant to the Patients Program at the University of Maryland, Baltimore School of Pharmacy. He has also written a book on the art and science of success, and it has been the bestseller. He's also the postgraduate in leadership coaching from Georgetown University, USA. He has also obtained the certificate executive and organizational coach. He's also a certified leader specialist and certified advanced level wellness recovery assistant, RAP facilitator. He has designed and facilitated the first leadership development training for the United Nations Relief Bank. He also facilitated the leadership development work for the Ministry of Women Affairs in Malaysia. Other than that, he co-designed and co-facilitated the Quantum Leadership University Putra Malaysia. He also designed and facilitated an organic software for the Natural Products and Personal Care Expo in Hong Kong, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. He co-designed and co-facilitated the first transformation leadership training in Malaysia with Dr. Ray Blackmore. Last but not least, he assisted Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, in the first-year transformation of the Vision 2050, making Malaysia a mid-sized industrialized nation. We are very fortunate to have such an incredible person with us. Welcome to our forum, Prof. Wali.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Happy Nurses Day. Today I am privileged and honored to join nurses, midwives, and my distinguished colleagues as panelists to celebrate and support our nurses as frontliners during this pandemic and post-coronavirus. Inshallah, in 2020 and beyond, we will strengthen resiliency and increase a quality of life for all nurses. As healthcare providers, none of us are exempt from experiencing anxiety, stress, deep sadness, loneliness, changes in sleeping patterns, easily becoming irritable, including noticing physical health symptoms such as headaches, stomach pain, and feeling fatigue. In addition, a need for social and emotional support. As healthcare workers, we get to navigate through many complex systems, which are constantly changing, unpredictable, and uncertainty. My desire today is to bring forth standard operating procedures for individuals during COVID 19. The proposed SOP for individuals with a focus on nurses is a proven self help tool. It is called mental wellness, embodiment, and the five integrated practices of recovery. One, hope. Two, personal responsibility. Three, education. Four, self advocacy. Five, support. The five key practices are within the evidence based Wellness Recovery Action Plan RAP. RAP was developed by Dr. Mary Ellen Copeland in 1997. RAP and the five key practices were researched by the University of Illinois in Chicago in 2001. Dr. Judith Cook and the investigators discovered four proven results. One, increase in self-empowerment. Two, increase quality of life. Three, decrease in intrusive feelings, negative thoughts, and unhealthy behaviors. And four, decrease in self-blame and hospitalization. We all want these results in our lives. The five integrated practices can improve well-being, sustain wellness, and recovery, including best practices in the field of nursing. Today, this space is too small for me to capture the tens of thousands of people throughout 11 countries, including Malaysia, who have benefited from living these five practices. Thank you.
Brief introduction to the COVID-19 before the two other panelists pursue their thoughts. All right. The next panelist would be none other than our another well-known nursing icon of Malaysia. She is none other than Dame Ramzia Ahmad. Welcome, Dame.
Thank
Dame,
you.
we've done lots for the nursing in Malaysia via the Malaysian Nursing Association that's held the practicing post for many terms. Congratulations, thank you for
Thank you.
developing the nursing and midwifery profession. Okay, she's a dean in the nursing faculty of AU CNS. She's also the board of advisor for Ministry of Recovery in Singapore. So she's an international nurse. She's also an adjunct lecturer at Masa University, immediate past president of Commonwealth Nurses and Midwives Federation, She's also the past president of MLA, and she's certified professional trainer in UK, and she's a freelance trainer. So let's welcome Dame Ramzia Ahmad. Welcome, Dame.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you very much, Dame. What
Yeah,
to
thank you.
share?
Respected panelists and all nurses outside there. As the past president of MNA and immediate past president of Commonwealth, Nurses Commonwealth and Federation, I am taking this opportunity to wish all the nurses Happy Nurses Day wherever you are, nationally and abroad. You know, traditionally, of so many years, as long as I remember, on this day, 12th of May, we used to meet 3,000 people, 3,000 nurses at least, to celebrate our International Nurses Day. But this year is a new norm that we have to abide to. But anyway, the spirits of Florence Nightingale is with us. And secondly, I'm happy to acknowledge the sacrifice made by our Malaysian nurses during the pandemic COVID-19. Our nurses are very disciplined, dedicated, compassionate, and they have made the sacrifice, their own comfort, and they took risk, uh, risk of their own lives to save the lives of others. And they overcome physical fatigue, anxiety towards their family, fear of unknown, and high stress level. And all these are the act of heroism. I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be a nurse. Now, the next thing that I would like to discuss with you is that nursing profession had been uplifted and recognized by public more so during this uh, pandemic. Yeah, and you know that our nursing profession has been recognized as the essential service. And this is not, I don't say this, but I'm going to quote. Somebody already acknowledged that nursing is a glamorous job. Yeah. And the services rendered by nurses during COVID-19 had made the nation proud. You know, in March, Malaysia was the highest was having the positive cases of COVID-19 among highest in ASEAN countries. But the way that the Malaysian government and all the people here, we together have taken this, have tried to fight this virus. And now what happened? The other countries are taking Malaysia as an example. So we are very proud. The nursing heroes had made it. And I must acknowledge, this is under the excellent leadership of our beloved Datuk DG. And he is one of the best 3 doctors in the world to manage this pandemic. Our prayers are with you, all nurses. The reward will be given by the Almighty Allah for the good deeds that you have done. And never give up. You have all the necessary support that you need. And we all are waiting and praying that this war will end as soon as possible. And all the nurses will walk out with victory, with winning applause for saving lives. And I'm now going to recite a poem to entertain all the nurses in the COVID hospital. This is the way I entertain you. The poem I just did, very hot from the oven. And it's entitled Tribute to the Nurses. Listen. 2020, the world stood still, attacked by COVID-19. Coming from Wuhan, travel around the globe. Loss of lives, but never loss of hope. The unsung heroine heroes, nursing heroes, save patients' lives and remove their sorrows. Nurses are in protective gear. Looks like astronauts on the moon. It's so uncomfortable from morning to noon. fear of unknown, anxiety for the safety, stress, burnout, anger, and fear. But nurses hold close to the oath. Come what may, never give up. Unity is strength. The war is not over. Fight Corona. Fight deadly virus. None will win the battle. The nation will lead the nation. And the nation will walk forward with winning applause. We make the history of our profession. Thank you.
Thanks for the wonderful talk and the beautiful poem there. Let's give her an applause. It was really very heart touching. Thank you, Dave. And they spoke comprehensively on the past, present, which is very challenging, the present status, and also she spoke about the future. Nursing is everlasting and it will have longevity, never die. All right. Without further ado, we like to call upon Prof. Zara. I'd like to do a brief call. Actually, Prof. Zara Saad is a nursing icon of Malaysia. She served in the public sector very long until retired. She's done just brought lots of innovation, transformation, not only for the public nurses but also for the private university. And she did not only contribute to the national nursing program, but she has gone across the boundaries to establish nursing in Singapore, in Australia, in UK, America, in Arab Saudi. So congratulations, Prof, for developing our nursing to the world's eyes. All right. She's actually the director of international relations at Masa University this year, 2020. Just promoted to this program. Next, she was the Dean Faculty of Nursing and Midwifery from 2005 to 2019. She's also a GANN and GNL. Has been there since 2011. She was the principal of School of Nursing at Malacca from 2000 to 2004. Besides that, she was also a principal of nursing at Alostar. She also obtained the GNLI Scholar in 2011. She's also a GNN member since 2007 and also an MQA panel. And she also trained the trainers at HRDF and she obtained the Tokoh Jururawat under Pendidikan Award in year 2015. And she served School of Nursing Alostar in 1992 to 2000. Such a great experienced person. So we welcome her today with a topic nursing with regard to education. She's very interested in education. With that, welcome Prof. Zara.
Thank you, Mary. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera, salam satu jurawat. First of all, I would like to wish Selamat Hari Jurawat Antarabangsa. Happy Nurses Day to all nurses where you are. Your commitments, your compassion, your sacrifice, your kindness will not go unnoticed. You are the unsung heroes of 2020. Now we move on to my topic today on the nursing preparation towards capacity building and training. During this time of pandemic situation, as we know, the healthcare professionals are the frontliners. They are doing their very best to help others. And many of us share the belief that in order to be excellent and the best, we want to move forward and ahead of others. There's always room for improvement. As the quality guru says, the largest room in this world is room for improvement. So in this capacity building and the preparedness of the nurses, I would like to share, and we would like to discuss in this forum. The important thing that we need to discuss is about the nursing preparation and the nursing education. We have the nurse standard competency as to ensure the basic standard and good qualification of our nursing education. So once the completion of their training, at what level, with regard to the level that they are diploma or the degree, that she is equipped uh, with the professional nursing practice, and she had knowledge on the ethics and legal practice, and according to the level of the education, and another knowledge of the personal and quality development and leadership and the management. So that is what we have to understand on the nursing education. However, with this current situation of pandemic, the nurse leaders, the managers need to develop and differentiate their core competencies. This is to accommodate the situation now meeting with the demand of our clients. So I take for example of the changes in some practice, especially on the cultural practice. Therefore, the unicultural care is no longer appropriate, and many people with many backgrounds and regions, we have to accommodate and the importance of us to prepare our nurses. So thus the concept of transcultural nursing should be one of the suitable module or subject that we should consider, and to enhance the nursing care as to address the diverse human beings holistically, yeah? And with the cultural knowledge apart from competency and skills. So how do we going to increase this nursing capacity? We have in mind now to come up with a few topics which we want to enhance the nurses competency and also the knowledge, professional knowledge. So for the future activities will be focused on how this educational intervention can be disseminated, evaluated, and further improved of broader application, which we will discuss in the next session. Thank you.
Prof. Zara, for the fruitful and eye-opening talk with regard to innovation and transformation in the nurse education system. Thanks once again, Prof. Zara. Before we could go into the forum questions, question and answers by the panelists, I'd like to just discuss a little bit on how nurses, a brief background on nurses and COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. Give an overview so that the panelists could go very comprehensive into the discussion. So in Malaysia, nurses, doctors and healthcare workers have become the unseen heroes, as stated by the panelists in the COVID-19 pandemic. They had a winning applause across the world for controlling and combating the deadly disease in an extraordinary manner. Malaysia has got an incredible success story which we would like to share with regards to COVID-19 pandemic. Initially, we had 3 times more cases compared to the Southeast Asia, all the other Southeast Asian countries. But with our excellent governance and leadership, we were able to bring back, our health with the curve down, and now we are going into from pandemic to endemic, and we are hoping to exit at the soonest date. So we are one of the best countries in Southeast Asia with regard to control of COVID-19. All the other Southeast Asian countries, they're having 2 to 6 folds of cases. We should give an applaud, a tap on our shoulder, and an applause for ourselves. Okay. So finally, globally, the COVID-19 pandemic has accounted thousands and thousands of lives. But millions and millions of people are alive, in good health and in good care. It is fine. We mourn for the victims, but care for the survivors. The challenge is Nurses, doctors, healthcare workers was in fear, anxiety, stress, overburden, hardship with extreme mental and emotional occasion to live. They risk their own safety and life. Therefore, it's timely to thank our frontline heroes who are controlling and combating the disease. So with that, we will start the um, uh, forum with regard to the question. So I'm sure the attendees are ready, rested for a while, ready to take the question. So the first question will be taken up by Dame Ramzia. So Dame, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the first question is, were our nurse frontliners ready enough to handle this COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia? Thank you, Dave.
Before I answer to that question, I would like nurses to go back to vigilant and nuisance definition of nursing. It's a unique Again, you see, is it okay? Okay, kan? Sorry for the interruptions. Technical problem has come. Just a moment, I want to check now whether you can hear me now, right? Okay. Just now I was talking about definition of nursing, and I think I did define that according to Virginia Anderson. And nurses have been trained in all aspects of nursing discipline. And it is not a problem for nurses to actually adapt their basic knowledge into a certain situation. As far as infection control, every nurse is trained. So they will come to the situation of pandemic or epidemic, applying all their knowledge, concentrating on the SOP right now, because we have a very excellent team leader and the leaders on the whole, and they have SOP, so briefing, motivation are all given to the nurses, supervision, support. With all this, I am very confident that nurses are actually ready. And they have proven with the results. Last time when there were so many positive cases, and now slowly, the percentage of discharge is really amazing. A lot of patients are being discharged after being nursed. So there's no problem about that. Yeah. So I think I have answered to that question number one, that we have no problem. And nurses stay, no matter what. I don't have the knowledge of any nurse in Malaysia resigned during pandemic. They stay. And they are able to cope. Thank God. So proud. I take off my cap for them. Thank you. Can you hear Mary? You cannot hear.
Continue since we have the problem with the moderator. Um, my next topic that I would like to discuss with our audience and the panelists is more on the how to increase on the nursing capacity. What are the challenges? As we see, can observe during the pandemic, we have to conduct online classes. We need to stop students from sending to the clinical area. So what are the strategies for us to ensure the nurses training going on? So what we are doing now, we have the simulation training for the first year and the second year. We need them to do the simulation training, the orientation to the area. We have the video snapshots of key aspects and with the additional education resources, example, the clinical guidelines and education packages should be available too. So with regard to this pandemic, remember, we are not trying to create like ICU nurses, but those who can uh, be safe and be particular on the safety support and in the aspect of the care delivery. Of course, the number of the patient in certain ward will be increased, and at times the nurses also cannot deliver to the standard to the standard of the ratio because of the increased number of the patient. But the most important is to remember, minimize risk and minimize the complication. So this is what we would like to uh, put the stress about this. Another aspect that we want to improve as the capacity building, the quality improvement in our healthcare and nursing professional education. We have to uh, put this learning and the improvement cycle as a plan, do study, act as a PDSL cycle. We should study what is occurring and the variation pattern, view as the first step and before intervening to improve quality. So we need to study the situation now. So the impact of this COVID-19 and what are the strategies we need to call for action in preparing a competent global nursing and midwifery workforce. Based on the systematic review of available literature, we can see the nurses want more to add their knowledge on this professional knowledge, especially on the disaster nursing, infection control, uh, spiritual care, and on the critical care. So the important here, it should be a dynamic model and important leadership role to play in health promotion, disease prevention, and reducing mobility and mortality. So with that, I would like to pass to Prof. Wali to continue on the next topic.
Thank you. The question that I would like to pose is, what are the main impacts of COVID-19 on our nurses who serve as frontliners? In working with nurses over the last decade, some of the lived experience that they have shared with me, and I'd like to make available to you today, is long working hours. This is what they're noticing that's impacting their well-being. Unexpected challenges, feelings of isolation and loneliness, having doubts, changes in their appetites, as well as physical exhaustion, and experiencing life-threatening events regularly. Another topical question is, what are some of the characteristics or responsibilities of a nurse in self-care to provide effective services to consumers and members of their family? I submit you may want to consider having a checklist to validate your well-being and wellness in the domains of social support, emotional balance, physically fit, and a readiness in being aware and thoughtful. The last topical question I present here is, what are the daily benefits of inclusion and social support as organizations? Values for nurses. We are learning that nurses can work from a place of shared values and practices to achieve individual and organizational performance of excellence. When inclusion and support is part of the organizational values system. Thank you, and I'd like to pass the mic over to Dane.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof.
Can I check my voice? Okay, thank you.
The question
The question that I'm supposed to answer is, what are the support system facilities available for COVID-19 frontliners? Okay. Actually, we are very thankful to Ministry of Health for looking after our frontliners and the rest of the staff involved in this difficult time. To my knowledge, they are well prepared with the basic needs of food, because I saw some NGOs, some individuals individuals who send food for the staff, our frontliners, some food. And then with regards to mental status, for the anxiety, burnout, stress, etc. We have, fortunately in Malaysia, they have 5 hospitals with spiritual centers where people can get help. And I believe that nurses have counselors that they can go to in case of their feelings of, requirement to talk to somebody as far as mental status is concerned. And I also know that accommodation for those nurses who stay very far from hospital, the accommodations are prepared for them, such as hostels, sometimes hotels, and these are very, very helpful. And some mothers with young children, and when they go to work for 10 to 12 hours, surely they will be worried about the child. So the hospitals have prepared 24 hours child center where the child could be looked after while the mother is working. So the nurses could, at that time, when you have all the support, they are having free mind to work. And of course, the other issue, which is very important, is sufficient PPE, masks, ventilators, and materials, equipments, proper infrastructure of isolation wards. All these have been looked after, and people, individuals, NGOs, some millionaire, billionaires of the country have donated, have come forward. And I am so touched to see on TV how Malaysians come forward to actually help in any way possible. Sometimes money, sometimes they give the PPE, mask, and so on, besides what the government already spent money to prepare. And I don't think we have the issues on this like any other, some of the other countries. So that is my answer to the questions number 5 regarding the support. So we move on now to the question number 6.
Some issue with the moderator. May I congratulate Patient Aguirre from the Facebook that she is the mental health nurse, and she said she recognized the crucial importance of collective cooperation in dealing with the mental health challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. And I reaffirm my commitment to foster collaboration by placing paramount importance on youth mental wellness. This is where we under Prof. Wali, how you can impose on this, and putting forward trust, spirit, and cooperation and solidarity in conduct. So this is, maybe we can further discuss on it. We continue, Dave? Continue, Dave, yes.
I
I
shall
shall
continue.
continue. Is that okay with my voice? Okay. I shall now answer question number 6. What are the strategies employed to prepare the nurse frontliners for an epidemic or pandemic crisis in the near future? Talking about strategic plans, I think number 1 is that we must study. We must learn from what is happening right now. Some of the lessons learned from the nurses who really experienced throughout the epidemic, what are their difficulties? What are the do's and the don'ts that we have learned this time to be documented, and these lessons will be used in the further strategic plans. Um, okay, and I believe nursing disaster is a post basic that we should not neglect about this, because disaster, epidemic, and pandemic doesn't give any warning. Although it doesn't happen that frequent, but once happen, it's actually tragedy and traumatized, life lost. So what we have to do is that in the post-basic of nursing disaster training, we have to continue doing it, train the nurses, train the trainers, have the core group, and continuously improve the training and the plans should any further disaster come by. Uh, the other thing I would like to touch is on the infection control unit that I said before. Every hospital has got its own unit of infection control. They have their own leader. I used to remember last time I was infection control nurse of a hospital. So our duty is to do the in-service training by rotation to every nurse in the hospital, ongoing throughout the year, and monitoring the practices of the infection control in the wards when they deal with the patient. So once this is controlled, I think the momentum is right. The other thing in the strategic plan, we cannot deny the uh, budget planning, because I think millions and millions of dollars had been used to actually trying to fight this war. Lots of money. So I think we need to budget, to plan for disaster budget. And yeah. The other thing is, I think, infrastructure of some space, because I remember, I don't know whether it's China suddenly have to build one new hospital instantly, and some of the places have to find a space for isolation wards because of the increasing number of patients, and then they have to abide to the rules and regulation SOP of this infection control nursing. So therefore, we must think of some spaces that can be converted in times of pandemic, so that we can temporarily do like isolation wards and so on. I would suggest that the government install intelligent temperature measurement sterilization channel. This is actually a chamber that before staff going into hospital, it will actually check your body temperature. If you are normal, you can go through the chamber, whereby the mist of the non-chemical sterilization of the whole body actually will remove between 95 to 99% of bacteria on your body out the other end. If you have the temperature, you are not allowed to go into the chamber. You have to be treated. So these nurses, when they go in, they have to go through this before touching the patient. When they are going home to touch their children, babies, and so on, before they leave the environment of the hospital, they also can go through this chamber to ensure bacteria whatsoever will be actually diminished. And then one thing that I always take it very seriously is the shortage of nurses. Like what is happening now, I heard the PM say, due to the physical fatigue of long hours that nurses are working now. So he says that trying to get these contract nurses to come in during this time. Contract nurses and calling back the volunteers, retired nurses, some graduates that don't have a job yet. So we are talking about shortage of nurses. But shortage of nurses is a global issue. It will be there. It will be there. And for years we have been discussing shortage. It will not solve the shortage problem. Nurses will move around the globe. They will move around the world. move, the movement, we can't stop death, retirement, and so on. So it's a matter of how do we prepare logically, reasonably sufficient staff or near sufficient staff to actually be ready for any disaster should happen. Um, I understand that the human resource, nursing alone, the workforce in the world is 51%. And the shortage, if I'm not mistaken, is 6 million in the world. Shortage of nurses. So don't you think nursing, a profession, is actually very, very important? Therefore, the training must go on. So I'm saying this, that whoever is making the policy, nurses should be involved in policy making of this country, and the continuous training of the nursing, have to go on. Training. And this is very attractive profession. Okay. And recruitment strategy has got to be improved. Last but not least, I would like to say that incentives for the nurses, like we are very grateful that the government give allowance for the nurses who serve COVID patients, COVID-19 patients. They have even other staff have got allowance. Similarly, the nurses should also be given other incentives like certification, recognition, allowance for all this work that they do. So with that, I have answered question number 6. Thank you.
Maybe before I will round up, Prof. Wali want to add anything before we round up? We have Prof. Wali.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Comments by each of you have been very effective. Thank you.
Okay.
I would just like to say that each of you have provided us with a resourceful of information, understanding, and wisdom in how to move forward today, as well as in the post-coronavirus. I have nothing else to add at this time, but thank you for the great learning.
We have Mary. Maybe Mary can come in only. Mary. Unmute. Unmute.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Hello, Prof. Wali and panelists. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
So, Prof. Wali has got another two questions. So,
Yep.
the second last question is about what are the daily benefits of inclusion and social support as organizational for nurse? Thank you.
Thank you. The daily benefits of inclusion and social support as an organization of values for nurses is the question that you raised. And I truly believe and sincerely that nurses can work from a place of shared values and practices to achieve individual and organizational performance of excellence. When these stated values are explicit, they are known, they are put into practice as a daily routine in terms of work cultures. So again, inclusion and social support can be a reality when we have them as values of the organization. Thank you.
I'd like to share here by Fasola. Thank you for sharing. She remembered that she saw the new one equipment that prepared under the Sunway Medical Center in Malaysia, and the isolation chamber, which is used in the conducting test for COVID-19. without having to directly be in contact with the suspected patient. And this help with keeping the medical workers safe from exposure and also maintain a safe barrier between the suspected patient and the medical worker conducting the test. And this is also useful as a precaution in times when PPE is a shortage. Thank you for sharing this. So this is a good info for everyone in terms of handling the pandemic.
All right. Thanks, Prof. Wali, for answering us on the benefits of inclusion and social support for the organization and for the nurse. So the last question Prof. Wali would take is, what's the responsibilities of a nurse in self-care to provide effective services to patients and members of the family? Please welcome. Thank you.
I would submit that nurses could develop a checklist to validate their well-being, their wellness in the domains of social support, emotional balance, physically fit, and readiness in being aware and thoughtful. Again, we have learned a lot as a result of COVID-19, and we can begin to learn new habits. Our workplaces and family settings will never be the same. So if we can begin to be thoughtful, stay in awareness, how we're taking care of ourselves so that we can provide excellent services for the consumers as well as members of their families. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Wali. Um, can we, before we could take up the other questions from our audience, I like to summarize that our panelists has answered all the questions so well, comprehensively, and they have touched so much on psychological support, emotional support, spiritual support, physical support, professional support, social support. Thank you very much for giving us a lot of information on this topic. Thank you. So looks like Prof. Wali, Prof. Zara, and Dame looks like we do not have any question per se, but we've got lots of nurses day and midwifery wishes, and they've shared some of the management they're doing with regard to COVID-19 pandemic, which is good. So I think we will end this particular question answer.
Just Mary, sorry, I just would like to share this key take home message with the nurses there. I got this. I like this wise man words. They keep on reminding us: prepare, 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 prepare. Because we expect frequent changes to plan. Sometimes you plan, it does not happen what you plan. So this is something for us to remind each other, because we also must care for our staff. Yeah, caring for the staff will translate into caring for the patient. Yeah, at this time of difficulty. Yeah, so to fight COVID-19, healthcare workers need responsible citizenry, capacity building, and reciprocity. So prepare, prepare, prepare. So that is the take home message. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Prof. Before we could go to the other agenda, I was very interested in asking you and discussing the question on the third question. I because I really like to concentrate on this question, and I just wonder, because I was disconnected, perhaps Prof could give me some outline of this particular issue. So this issue was actually, what is the biggest challenge of nurse frontliners in continuing professional education in this COVID-19 pandemic? So as we know that all our nurses are undergoing the diploma program, and then a Bachelor of Science, Master of Science Nursing, a PhD Nursing, post-basic program, and it did not come to a halt because the what's that, policymakers have stated that despite the MCO, we have to continue our education. And I know that we are going online, and this is one of the challenges, you see. So how could the prof tell us that we can execute this particular thing very effectively and efficiently? This is during the COVID-19 and also post-COVID-19. Please advise us, Prof. Zara. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. We have come up with the new mode of delivering the lecture. So now study still continue, the class online, and we want to encourage our nurses still to continue their study. They still can come and join our program. Instead of they come face to face, now we are having the online class. So please join us, and we will ensure the delivery of the lecture according to the syllabus and will meet the learning outcome. Thank you.
Thanks for the inspiring and aspiring answer,
Yes.
Prof. Zara.
Yes.
So are we coming to the end? Are we having some slides, I think? Prof. Zara, please advise us.
We will show the slide after this, and we have to end. And thank you to all the panelists, and thank you, Mary, as the moderator.
Thank you
Uh,
very much.
the Masa University editor will show the slide later. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the panelists and audience. And very sorry for
There,
the
there will be a wish.
technical, technical
Yeah,
error.
yeah.